Mississippi, Borky Haydad and Cross with you this Thursday. The best day of the year on the SuperTalk Network. A point of pride for all of us that work here at SuperTalk is the Radiothon. Wall-to-wall coverage from the Palmer Home Radiothon, and joining us right now to talk about it is Drake Bassett, the president and CEO of the Palmer Home. And Drake, let's start here, actually, for those that are listening that maybe have no idea what the Palmer Home is, haven't heard the Radiothon yet. What would be your elevator pitch to them? Just, hey, what is the Palmer Home?
Yeah, well, Palmer Home is an incredible story, but it's an incredible place even today and will be for years to come. But it's especially important because it provides a home. It provides a place where children can have those baseball dreams, where children can think about growing into being a productive citizen, can have family, can have support, can go to school. Palmer Home is providing a much needed destination for children who are caught up in circumstances beyond their control. And for whatever reason, the family situation is difficult. And we're providing that home, and we need people and friends to join us so that we can make that possible. With the gifts and the funds that we receive on Thursday, we'll put those to good use.
And that's the thing. So I've had the pleasure of being on your campus there, and when you say providing them a home, it really actually is. It does feel and look and act and sound like an actual home for children that either maybe did not have one or had one that was not adequate for a young child.
That's exactly right. You've got the presence of a couple, married couple. And for some of our children, that's the first time they're seeing that in action. Just to be candid about it, this first time they've seen a man and woman in the same house, and they're sitting around a table for dinner for prayer. They're, carrying out their chores, their responsibilities to be part of a family unit. They have other children in the house that, we've taken the time to make sure that they're together with the right children in terms of what would be best for their development. And so, they're living this out. And, just last week, our house parents who take great care of these children, not only are they challenging them to, carry out their task and grow, and especially in the summertime, they're going to find some fun things to do. They're going to go to the pool. But I was really struck by our house parents that took a group of our kids, out to Home for Veterans and spent time showing them, what service is all about. And they've taken them, of course, to church on Sunday. They're introducing them to different aspects of life, but they're providing this consistency. And of course, there's going to be the food and the clothing, but it's really more about how do you want to live? What's your life going to be? And that's what we try to do here at Palmer Home for Children.
Drake, what's a success story of Palmer Home that you like to tell people?
I've been here now, this is our 13th, Super Talk coming up, and in February, it'll be my 14th year, which means I've had a chance to see some children who showed up, when I just was beginning, and beginning to learn the lives of children. And so it's been my pleasure to watch some of these children grow up into their teens and go through some of those challenging years and then go on. After they finished high school, which for some of our children, maybe the first in their family, we had that happen just this year. A young lady that completed high school, she's the first in her family to do that. She's also going to go to college in the fall, first in her family to do that. Well, I've seen that several times over, but mostly what I get excited about, are the fact that it's just not one, it's not two, it's many children who have gone through that process. And best of all, despite those accomplishments, what they're really carrying with them, I think, is the love and the support and the best wishes and the care that will be with them for a lifetime, because they're going to look back and say, yep, my home life was a little different. I spent my time at Palmer Home for Children, but I was loved. I was cared for. They taught me values. They taught me how to work. They taught me how to have some fun. And they also poured into my life. Well, that's happened time and time again. And I'm grateful. I've got pictures in my phone. I've got pictures at home that I keep of some of these special children that have just been incredible stories. They're an inspiration to me.
We talk all the time about when we do the Radiothon that this is an organization 100% funded by donations like we're going to try to raise for you on Thursday. That to me should be a point of pride, for not only for you and your organization, but for our great listeners and the people here in the state of Mississippi, because it would be really easy for you guys to apply for a government loan and then you're subject to whatever regulations. Instead, by doing it this way, you can do it your way year in and year out, and your way has been so successful.
Yeah, well, I have so many people to thank, and many people through the decades who have held that line. Right now we're listening to a lot of politics, and some of us are frustrated from time to time, and we see politicians, talk, and then they don't always follow through. They don't hold that line, and we get really, really frustrated, and we spend a lot of time talking about that. But when I think about the fact that Palmer Home for 130 years basically said, we're not doing that. We're simply not going to take the kind of funding that could reshape what we intend to do. And we live in a great state, and the state, protects that and provides that. Yes, we are licensed under the state, but we are not restricted because we take funding that requires us to meet certain, milestones or obligations that we don't think are helpful. And so we're really glad when we can do what we do, but we only do that because people reach into their pocket and they say, you know what, this $20 needs to go to Palmer Home, because we are completely dependent on the generosity and the collaboration of people all across this state and beyond.
What's something new at Palmer Home that from the last time we were there?
Well, we've certainly got some new children, and I'm laughing because I got a big hug from a little one here just a couple of days ago, and it made me realize that long after I'm gone and all of us are gone, that this place will always be providing it'll be a new destination for children who need to come here. But we've had a lot of exciting things happening with our transitional program. We've seen children graduate. We've seen them heading off to school, taking responsibility. We have Leader State coming up. Mississippi State's going to host us for a week. Some of our older children who are going to go there and learn about some life challenges and some things that are out in the world in terms of business and ways to approach this next phase of their life coming up, which is really, really exciting. So there's always something moving and always something happening in terms of their development. And so we're excited about, a lot of those types of things that are happening.
I would love to hear more about when you first take in a child. So you find out that there's a child in need that needs to be taken away from the living situation that they're currently in. Yeah. When you bring them in, what is the first 48 hours of their time with you like?
Yeah, well, the interesting thing is, of course, it starts sometimes several weeks in advance because you start working with a family, you start finding out what you can about that child's life. We call it their whole story. What have they experienced before they even come to us, so that we're ready when a child shows up. We've given thought to which home they need to be in. We've given thought to the house parents that are going to care for them. We've given thought to their educational needs. And as soon as the child arrives, of course, we welcome them, and we focus on creating a sense of safety. It's hard for me to even imagine a child coming here out of a difficult situation. And of course, we know everybody, and we know that we have a lot of good intentions, but this child doesn't really know anything about us. So we have to begin to build trust. So the first thing is to greet them, to begin to express our love gently, and to begin to let them know that they're safe. But from there, of course, they'll go to a home, they'll go to their own bedroom, they'll have their own bed, they'll have their own, dresser, and they'll have their own part of the room that's theirs. And that's a really big deal. New clothes that matter for them, and things that make them feel special. We believe they're special. We believe they're here for a reason. And so they begin to meet new children. They begin to meet their house parents. They begin to find their way. We also provide, we kind of say this casually, but it's true. We provide a bike and we provide a Bible. We just begin to make them feel like, hey, this is a place where I think I can be safe. This is a place where I can begin to build trust. And that's what happens. And all those stories I told you about earlier about the success, it all started just like that, where a child shows up and immediately they know, hey, these people have my best interest in mind. And that's what we're here to provide.
Yeah, there's incredible value of a kid having something that they can say, that's mine now. That's right. That has been given to me. That is mine. It's incredible work you guys are doing. Really looking forward to being a part of that yet again on Thursday. PalmerHome.org is the website, but just be with us all day on Thursday, any hour of the day on SuperTalk, and you can hear all about the good work that they're doing there at Palmer Home. Drake, thank you for your time, and really looking forward to Thursday.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So thankful for all you guys do. We'll have a great day on Thursday.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. That's Drake Bassett, the President and CEO of Palmer Home for Children. Thursday, join us on Thursday, 6 a.m., 6 p.m., Palmer Home Radiothon. It is truly, I know that both of you feel this, the most prideful day working at SuperTalk of the year every year.
Oh, no question. No question. I mean, it's 360. Well, it's not 365, but you see what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I'm over here making silly jokes and getting my blood pressure up. That's one day where I'm really proud of the things we do here at SuperTalk.